During a gaming session, my teammate told me to go disrupt the enemy jungler. I paused for a moment before setting down my phone. Turning to my boyfriend, I planted a kiss on his cheek. "Babe, stop watching the game. Look at me." He froze. My teammates froze too. We meant disrupt him in-game. Not like this. Chapter 1. Growing up. My quiet nature always left me isolated. Even after entering college, I remained the girl who stood silently at the edge of social gatherings. Everything changed when my roommate Ethan taught me to play MOBA games during a 5v5 session. "Play the support role," Ethan had said, pointing at the screen. "Your mission is to protect the ADC." The Deerhorn Spirit Healer became my constant companion in matches. During an inter-dormitory gaming night, our squad faced off against Ethan's team. My ADC teammate grew frustrated after getting ganked twice. "Hannah, go bother their jungler. Don't let him keep targeting me." I froze. The enemy jungler sat right beside me, Ethan, in the light blue baseball jacket I'd bought him last weekend. Nobody knew we were dating. Not because of cheating, but because two socially awkward introverts dating looked like this: movie dates arranged through coded texts. Avoiding PDA like it was radioactive. My teammate's ADC died for the third time. "Hannah, please." Mustering courage, I tapped Ethan's shoulder. When he looked up questioning, I cupped his face and kissed him. "Babe, watch me instead of the game." The entire room fell silent. Only the clicking of my obliviously focused teammate breaking the enemy nexus continued. When victory flashed across screens, my roommate finally looked up. "We won." "Wait, why's everyone so quiet?" Ethan's roommate broke the tension first. "Hannah made the first move. Say something." "Ethan." His eyelashes fluttered, ears burning crimson. After an eternity, he stammered, "Can we do that again?" "Holy guacamole!" Ethan's roommate exploded. "Did you hear that? Do that again?" Back at the dorm, my roommates cornered me. "Spill it. Hannah, what's going on with you and Ethan?" "Nothing." "Really?" Four pairs of hands attacked my ticklish spots until I surrendered. "We've known each other since childhood." "Childhood sweethearts?" Emily choked. "You two barely exchanged 10 words in 3 years." I nodded weakly. The girls stared like I'd grown antlers like my game character. Ethan's text lit up my phone. "Still up for that rematch?" My fingers trembled typing, "Only if you stop ganking my ADC." His reply came instantly, "Deal. But I get more kisses than last time." I nodded. Later, my roommates burst into laughter, pinching my cheeks. "Hannah, you've really made us proud." They spent the whole day marveling, saying they couldn't believe how introverted I was. They kept repeating how we'd lived together for 3 years yet they'd never known I had a boyfriend. They kept pestering me to share stories about Ethan and me. But I didn't know where to begin. Maybe it started when I was 4. My parents were away on business, and Grandma locked me alone in the house while she went gambling. I watched the sun crawl across the sky through the window bars, my stomach growling. That's when Ethan walked by our yard, pressing my face against the rusty iron bars. I asked, "Got any food?" After hesitating, he handed me a lollipop through the gaps. Grandma didn't return for 3 days. When thirsty, I dragged stools to drink from the bathroom faucet. When hungry, I ate the candies Ethan smuggled to me: lollipops, chocolate bars, peanut brittles, Rice Krispie treats. That's how our friendship began. In elementary school, we shared a 2-person desk. On the first chaotic day when other kids were shouting, Ethan and I sat silently reading his Wolf King comic book. We'd trade the comic back and forth between classes, writing our names side by side in workbooks during quiet moments. For 6 years, every notebook page bore 2 names, mine and Ethan, in neat pencil strokes. We attended different middle schools but occasionally crossed paths in our neighborhood. Two quiet souls who rarely spoke even when meeting. Our entire yearly interaction became him showing up every New Year's Day with candies, murmuring Happy New Year before leaving. Once my mother spotted us standing awkwardly by the gate and gasped, "Honey, come look. Our daughter actually has a friend visiting." That day Ethan ate lunch at our house. My parents adored him, desperately hoping this friendship might draw me out of my shell. Their enthusiasm dimmed when they realized Ethan made me seem chatty by comparison. Two mutes watching TV together. The silence so thick you could hear dust settle on the remote. Let us play and we just read separate books in the same room. My parents didn't know whether to celebrate my first friendship or mourn doubling the household's quietness. We maintained this wordless companionship through middle school, high school, until college orientation eve. That's when Ethan dragged me hiking and proposed on some deserted mountain peak complete with flowers and knee-scraping proposal. I said yes, partly from lifelong familiarity, partly because he was my only friend, but mostly because that cliff edge had me recalling drama series murder scenes. Better to accept than risk becoming accidental hiking tragedy headlines. Our dating life stayed true to form. During college breaks while other couples kissed under street lamps, Ethan and I visited every library in the county. It wasn't until move-in day when he saw couples holding hands across campus that something clicked. That night, I found him researching how to act like normal boyfriend on his laptop at 3 a.m. The next day, Ethan asked if I wanted to catch a movie. I agreed. For our first cinema date, I deliberately wore a pretty dress. We watched 2 hours of Venom, after which Ethan asked if I liked it. I nodded, it was genuinely good. When he asked if I'd watch another movie with him, I nodded again. Something felt off, but the film was still decent. Ethan and I had been in the same college class, yet nobody knew we were dating. We'd been together for 3 years without exchanging a single word publicly. It was a relationship that existed yet remained invisible. During those years, my roommates got swept up in grand confessions, dates, gifts, and dramatic breakups. Meanwhile, Ethan and I spent our time at movies, studying in the library, soaking our feet, and trying gua sha. Once, we coincidentally went to the same barbershop, a quiet, dirt cheap place 200 meters north of campus. A trim cost $12. I got my ends and bangs touched up, he just shortened his hair slightly. Only during holiday trips home did Ethan help carry my luggage. But even then, it went unnoticed. Our dorm leader Emily was dating his dorm leader Daniel. When one person dated, the whole dorm benefited. All the guys from Daniel's dorm hauled our luggage. Ethan blended into the crowd holding my suitcase. Completely unremarkable. He left my luggage outside the campus gates and walked away. After my roommates said their goodbyes and drove off, Ethan circled back in his car. On the ride home, I listened to vocabulary tapes while he drove. Later, we switched. He studied as I took the wheel. My parents adored Ethan. How much? We had a dedicated guest room for him, and he spent 2/3 of every holiday at our house. Since we attended the same school and overlapped during breaks, we saw each other roughly 350 days a year. The constant proximity eventually made me crave space. During sophomore year, I applied for a semester abroad. Ethan seemed to sense this. When he dropped me off, he unexpectedly asked, "Why go overseas? Are you unhappy with us?" I paused before answering. I need time apart to figure out if this works. Confusion clouded his eyes, glinting with unshed tears. In that moment, I understood why I wanted distance. I needed proof. Proof that we truly cared. That separation would hurt us both. Regret hit me immediately upon landing abroad. I called Ethan, sniffling. "The food here sucks." He stayed silent, so I hung up angrily. The next day, a Friday, he showed up lugging overstuffed bags. His suitcase couldn't fit everything, so he'd stuffed a backpack with a pot, vegetables, even rice. He cooked for 2 days straight before flying back. Absence had been manageable until his visit. Goodbyes wrecked me. I sobbed uncontrollably after he left the airport. That brief reunion made the subsequent separation unbearable. I returned home before New Year's, thinner and worn out from 6 months of homesickness. With my parents working, Ethan moved in to cook for me. The first bite of his food nearly brought tears. Staring at him, I finally admitted to myself I was undeniably, irrevocably in love. We resumed school like nothing had changed. Our relationship still secret. I assumed it'd stay hidden until graduation, until the gaming incident. I've always been the quiet type, laser-focused on my goals since childhood. Solitude never bothered me, until the day my roommate Emily dragged me into a 5v5 gaming showdown during her fight with boyfriend Daniel. That first match using Emily's spare account felt surreal. As she played ADC, I mindlessly tapped skills wherever icons lit up. When we hit level 4, I latched onto her character like a koala until her inevitable death. The enemy team barely glanced at me, letting me wander map borders like some confused tourist. Then I stumbled into enemy jungle where Ethan was securing blue buff. My ult failed to attach to him. We circled each other awkwardly until he abandoned the nearly dead monster. The blue glow beneath my feet after stealing it made Emily cheer. Nice one, Hannah. Didn't think you'd out-jungle their carry. 3 days later, I logged on alone. Ethan's voice warmed my headphones as he guided me from bot matches to ranked games. We spent afternoons dissecting champion kits and item builds, more conversation than we'd shared in 3 years of campus coexistence. When we logged off, I finally understood why people fall for gaming partners. Shared adrenaline breeds intimacy faster than any movie date. Our secret level 10 couple badge blew up the dorm. My roommates gawked at my skin-filled account. He spent how much? Emily screeched before demanding we flex his whale account for skin privileges. Then Olivia's anime catgirl avatar appeared in Ethan's friend list. Her sugary voice pleading help me. Ethan triggered Emily's PTSD. That's the same girl who kept DMing Daniel. The room froze. 4 pairs of eyes pinned me. I called Ethan. Fingers steady. I'm deleting Olivia. His chuckle rumbled through the receiver. Knock yourself out. When I asked why he'd added her, his pause lasted 3 heartbeats. To test if you'd notice. My roommates exploded. Emily shook me. He's rich. Hot. And MIT bound. You think this ends here? I stared at Olivia's lingering friend request. For the first time, my quiet world felt thrillingly unstable. He smiled even wider. When she secured her grad school spot, she said there were some documents she needed me to fill out. Oh, did you finish them? After hanging up, I felt relieved, and my roommates were even more reassured. They praised me. Such a perfect son-in-law should belong to our dorm. I stayed silent for a long moment before blurting out. I'm not a daughter. The girls disagreed. Emily pinched my cheeks. What do you mean you're not a daughter? Are you cross-dressing as a guy or something? Confused and mildly offended. I stopped resisting. Ethan had secured his grad school placement as a junior. I fell short on credits and ended up preparing for entrance exams. During my critical senior year sprint, Ethan left. That fall semester, Ethan suddenly needed to join his advisor's research team abroad for several months. The impending separation weighed on me. We'd often taken our proximity for granted, even wishing for space. Yet now the distance felt unbearable. My sophomore year departure hadn't carried the sharp sense of severance. Ethan left. But my routine continued: lectures, assignments, endless practice tests. Occasionally I'd join my roommates gathering autumn harvests at the botanical garden. We filled backpacks with ripe chestnuts and hawthorns, using our dorm's electric kettle to boil them, while Emily delivered half our batch to her boyfriend. I stared at my share. On impulse, I video called Ethan. We rarely shared mundane updates since we usually met daily. But today's first-time chestnut gathering sparked excitement. Rain pattered through the screen from Ethan's end as he watched me eat. "When are you coming back?" I asked after finishing. "Soon," he replied. "How soon?" I pressed. He shook his head. "Not sure yet. The advisor hasn't finalized dates." Keeping the call connected, I drowsily rested my head on the desk, lulled by rainfall and his faint breathing through the headphones. Midway through senior year before Ethan's return, rumors began circulating, initially buried under vocabulary drills and library marathons. I paid no mind until overhearing dorm whispers. My roommates had tried shielding me. Emily finally snapped during a cafeteria encounter, swinging her backpack at snickering students. "What's so funny? Never seen beauty before?" "Seen plenty, just never a B-movie starlet," came the sneer. We barely restrained Emily. "Calm down. Assault charges won't help," I reminded her. The gossip originally targeted me, but my friend's fierce defenses drew collateral attention. Attempts to clarify proved futile, the whispers metastasized instead of fading. What began as background noise started warping how people looked at me, how they spoke near me. My world kept shrinking as the lies ballooned. The deepfake images had even reached me, and I saw my face digitally altered. My roommates often looked at me with concern, comforting me that everything would be fine, insisting those actions didn't align with my personality, and assuring me they believed in my innocence. Their trust alone couldn't shield me. I'd tried to brush it off, but after that AI-generated photo surfaced, a sense of helplessness crept in. How could someone stoop so low? Spreading lies during my grad school prep? They wasted my time, drained my focus, and exploited my inability to trace the source alone. I'd stopped arguing, stopped defending myself until the rumors exploded beyond control. Even I couldn't stay silent anymore. One midnight, I stared at the image on my phone, frowning. No more retreating. If they wanted a scandal, I'd give them a bigger one. I reached out to a blogger I'd met while studying abroad. The next day, she posted an article condemning a university female students for chasing money shamelessly, even resorting to porn acting. The piece targeted me, paired with a heavily pixelated image. It tapped into society's morbid curiosity, racking up millions of views. One viral post spawned countless imitations. Clickbait accounts twisted the narrative, spreading it wider, louder. Soon, the backlash wasn't just about me, it engulfed the university's reputation. The school panicked. My academic advisor summoned me overnight, demanding, "Is any of this true?" "Fabricated," I said. "Someone's sabotaging me. I've been buried in study materials this whole time, this has derailed everything." The administration vowed to investigate, contacting the police to clear my name. Tracing the deepfake's origin wasn't easy, but nothing's impossible with determination. Yet chaos followed. Olivia stormed into my dorm, screaming about me having no shame. Security dragged her away, and she faced disciplinary action. "Since when do we believe every online rumor?" the advisor scolded. "You're adults, think critically." This harms Hannah and the school. Amid the uproar, I kept my headphones on, grinding through textbooks. Eventually, I stopped attending classes, studying solely in my dorm until Ethan returned. His research project wasn't finished, yet he'd flown back alone. Standing outside my building, his first words were, "Hannah, I'm here." Then, "How are you holding up? Physically? Fine. Mentally?" I thought I was, until I burst into tears. Months of pent-up frustration erupted. I punched his shoulder. He blinked, then chuckled. "Hungry? Let's grab dinner." Ethan took leave, rented an apartment, and moved me in. He apologized for being late. Still seething, I asked, What about your advisor? They understood. He said, nothing matters more than you. His words soothed half my anger. I buried myself in legal research between study sessions. The police report dropped at the rumor's peak. Overnight, every viral account pivoted to breaking news. The culprit was Olivia, expelled after confessing through tears. I just edited one photo. She pleaded in court. I never meant for this. Her remorse meant nothing. She'd earned every consequence. My roommates accompanied me to the trial. On the stand, Olivia stammered, I thought it was harmless, please. I've lost everything already. Harmless? Since when does small justify cruelty? Some urged me to forgive and move on. But why? I was the victim. The case was too severe. So Olivia ultimately received a sentence of 1 year and 3 months with 1 year probation. That day when I stepped out into the sunlight, Ethan stood beside me and asked, What's on your mind? After hesitating, I answered earnestly, I want to switch majors for grad school. Which field? Law. After everything settled, I moved back to the dorm due to classes. Except for Emily preparing for grad school. Everyone else was busy with internships and coursework. In late December, I finished my exams and walked out of the test center into biting cold. Ethan and I trudged through the icy wind that stung our faces. Embarrassed, I tugged at his scarf. He caught on, removed it, and wrapped it around me. Snowflakes began to drift down as we bought roasted sweet potatoes at the campus gate. We ate the warm, sugary comfort food while snow whitened the ground. With Christmas approaching, the city buzzed with energy. Couples dotted the streets near campus as we wandered. When the snowfall intensified, we meandered through the crowd holding hands until he asked, Could you kiss me like you did last time? Puzzled, I countered, Why don't you kiss me instead? His ears turned crimson before he mumbled, Feels too forward, like I'm being a creep. Then forget it. Ethan objected. No. I disagree. We bickered the entire walk back, neither willing to make the first move in public, eventually giving up and returning to dorms under nightfall. The dorm entrance glowed while shadows cloaked its perimeter. At the doorway, he called, Hannah. When I turned, he suddenly grabbed my wrist and pulled me into the darkness. Our teeth clashed painfully during the rushed kiss. I shoved him away, near tears from the pain, then stormed off without a word. After long silence, I texted angrily, You startled me. Bit my tongue. Sorry. Want a game? My parents had forbidden video games growing up. But now I found them therapeutic, perfect for rough days. Before I could rest after exams, winter break arrived. Our dorm and Ethan's group went for a farewell dinner. The coming semester meant internships or grad school prep, paths diverging, meetings growing scarce. Even Ethan and I would separate due to different universities. When toasts dried up, someone stood abruptly to bright futures and smooth sailing. Glasses emptied. Emily hugged me, weeping. This isn't goodbye, Hannah. We'll meet again. Drunk at the outdoor barbecue stall, we graduates gazed blearily at the rare winter stars. Walking back, Ethan murmured, College was good. I nodded, remembering my anxious high school self asking him, Will university be better? 18-year-old Ethan had shrugged. Dunno. Let's find out together. We'd thought 4 years endless, yet now face their end with hollow ache. Memories flooded back, freshman orientation week. My shyness frustrating roommates. My first successful blue buff steal in games earning Emily's praise. The snow around us mirrored that long ago campus day. Each flake a whisper of time stolen. After that day, I could never return to those 4 years. Suddenly, I started crying too. Through my tear-blurred vision, I sensed someone approaching from behind. Their heavy footsteps crunched urgently through the snow toward us. I instinctively turned, but Ethan shoved me aside. I sat in the snowbank looking up as crimson droplets fell from Ethan's body. That day, blood stained the white ground, leaving me numb. Ethan gripped the knife's blade, yet the weapon still pierced through his winter coat into his chest, blooming red across the fabric. Die. Just die. How dare you all get into grad school while I got expelled? Olivia screamed, thrashing against bystanders restraining her. She glared venomously from the snow at Ethan, then at me cradling him. Hannah, you got what you deserved. I know everything, how you paid that influencer to spread rumors, forcing the school to investigate and expel me. Such a clean little manipulation. Really? I countered. Weren't you the one generating fake AI images first? Spreading defamation is illegal. Don't blame me because your schemes backfired. We had bullies like you in elementary school, kids who drove classmates to suicide. That I survived your cruelty speaks to my resilience, not your innocence. Olivia. Crimes demand punishment. The victim isn't at fault here. Police escorted the screaming Olivia away. I sat silently in the ambulance, clutching Ethan's ice-cold hand. For one terrible moment, I wondered, had I gone too far? If I'd let the rumors die, would this never have happened? When they wheeled Ethan into surgery, only my parents came. His biological family never appeared, if they even existed. Growing up, Ethan's empty mansion only housed rotating nannies. He never lacked money, yet no one ever truly cared. My father signed the surgical consent forms, declaring Ethan his adopted son. The operating room lights eventually dimmed. I sat paralyzed with grief until Ethan's eyes fluttered open. Hannah, you did nothing wrong, he rasped hoarsely, startling my parents who were peeling apples. I burst into hysterical laughter at his uncharacteristic volume. The boy dubbed mysterious air throughout middle school for his aloof demeanor. Our generation's answer to those CEO romance novel stereotypes. My parents exchanged worried whispers. Did the injury scramble his brain? Is she having a breakdown? I scowled as their discreet murmurs carried clearly. Since when was laughing suspicious? Their subsequent head pats and our baby's grown a temper. Comments only deepened my irritation. Epilogue. When I was small, my overworked parents left me with Grandma. She'd withhold food for days, 3 being the worst stretch. Starvation bred silent rage against the world. When my parents finally discovered this during an unexpected visit, they rushed my skeletal frame to the ER for 4 fluids. Grandma trailed behind complaining, "Why the fuss? Girls are tough, she won't die from missing a few meals." Mom chased her out with a broom. "Never touch my child again." Dad wordlessly barred the door as Grandma wailed protests. They installed cameras and hired nannies afterward. But the hollow ache of abandonment never fully healed. The nanny wasn't bad to me, she cooked on time, helped organize my things, and kept regular hours. That hollow feeling lingered, but I was too young to articulate it. When I met Ethan later, he named it, "That's loneliness." As I grew, words became harder. No one taught me how to communicate properly. Teachers scolded mistakes. Classmates mocked stuttered sentences. So I stopped trying. Ethan also spoke sparingly. But differently, he knew how to charm teachers yet disdain their approval. Watching him, I learned, if others isolate you, isolate them first. Master self-reliance. We'd known each other so long. The line between habit and affection blurred. Eventually I realized it was both. Layered with love. We'd been each other's anchors since childhood. From the first candy he shared. Ethan came from wealth. Though my $2,000 monthly allowance in high school wasn't insignificant. His bank account holding over $10 million sparked envy. I never asked, the money clearly tied to his parents. A subject he avoided. When he suddenly confessed his mother's death explaining the inheritance, I asked about his father. No father. He scoffed. He remarried, hired a nanny, and abandoned me. My own parents were absent yet present enough for holiday gatherings, a contrast to Ethan's stark isolation. At our wedding, my parents insisted on grandeur. Their inquiry about Ethan's family brought unexpected consequences, the first meeting with his father. A polished 40-something surveying Ethan with disdain. That condescending congratulations ignited my fury. My treasure deserved better. Dragging Ethan away, I clung to him, declaring, "You're mine. My treasure." His delayed laughter warmed my neck as he echoed, "You too." Epilogue 2, Ethan. Years had passed since seeing my father. My early childhood in the Johnson estate ended when they fired my caretaker uncle. At 4, I intercepted my father's car, arms outstretched. He looked through me like gutter trash before hiring that distant nanny. Unlike typical rich kids with regulated lives, I grew in forgotten corners. The nanny's competence didn't equate to care. Hannah became my constant, not some bubbly savior, but another solemn soul. Her mother once called us twin bitter melons, but paired melons beat solitary ones. Inviting my father to the wedding surprised even me. Childhood hatred had dulled to indifference. When he arrived impeccably tailored, that old wound barely twinged. His patronizing nod provoked Hannah's protective fury, my bitter melon charging to shield me. For the first time, I didn't need his approval. Her arms around me whispered everything. I was stunned when he came that day. I couldn't even remember the last time we'd met. But Hannah cared, and that thrilled me. I loved how Hannah showed concern for me, making me feel cherished. The end.